be doing a book haul for you. Some of these books I got for my birthday last month, and others I just bought for myself because I'm currently still trying to get out of my reading slump, and it's been very difficult because I also don't have a lot of time to read. But I've been working on it, The theme of this book haul is very, very easy to identify. It's pretty much Japan, Japanese, and graphic novels. Not one of these books, well, one of these books does not fit those categories. Only one. So I'm gonna start with that. And that's Not That Kind of Girl by Lena Dunham. I really, really love the show Girls. It's one of my favorite shows ever. It's not exactly relatable, but it just makes you feel so much better about your own life. And this is basically the book version of that show, and I just loved it a lot. I know there's some controversy surrounding it, and I'm just not gonna comment on that because, you know, most people don't agree with my opinions. So, anyway, I really love this book, and if you enjoyed the show Girls, and you like Lena Dunham's general sense of humor, you will probably also enjoy this book. I thought it was really cool. So let's just start with some of the Japanese things. So the first book is not in Japanese, but by a Japanese author, and it's Murakami Haruki's Norwegian Wood. I got this as a birthday present from my sister, which is awesome. Thank you so much. She asked me actually which book I wanted, and I said this one because I've actually already read Ichikyu Hachiyon Book 1, which is 1Q84, Book 1. And I wasn't able to continue yet because it's really, really long, and it takes forever. And it's kind of similar to Lord of the Rings in the sense that it doesn't have an ending to each separate book. It's kind of just like, here ends Book 1, and you're like, we're in the middle of the story. So I don't really know how to judge Murakami's writing so far because I don't know how he ends his books. I don't know where he's going with his stories, and I thought this might be a good thing to read first because it's a lot shorter, obviously, and I hope I enjoy it, and then I can get into reading some more Murakami in the future because it would be awesome to have it as a goal to be able to read his works in Japanese at some point. If that will ever be possible. We'll see. On the topic of books originally in Japanese, I recently bought this book. It is called New Penguin Parallel Text Short Stories in Japanese. Yeah, so it's pretty much very true to what it says, and it's short stories in Japanese that come with an English translation on the opposite side. So it's actually pretty easy to read. As you can tell, I've gotten very far. It's a lot of work. It literally is so much work because I want to do it properly. I don't just want to read it. I want to do it properly. These are a collection of short stories actually, and the first one is by Murakami, so I actually already accomplished reading something by him in Japanese. But still, it's just 2 pages long, and it's called The Train Whistle in the Night. I can't even read the kanji that say train whistle, so I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not even gonna try to read that title. More Japanese. This crosses over nicely into the graphic novel realm because the next book I got also for my birthday by a lovely friend, and it is Macho No Cuban. Basically, this is Kiki's delivery service in book form. It's so awesome. As you can see, this has a lot of very big pictures and very little text, and the text that does exist in this book is really simple. It's very simple vocabulary, but it's also very, very rare to find kanji in this book, and that's very frustrating because a lot of vocabulary I don't know. I just don't know, and it could be so many things. Like, it's very ambivalent, I guess, and ambiguous, and I wish there was a kanji that I could at least guess what it means, but whatever. I'm gonna definitely enjoy reading this a lot, and it's just so awesome and beautiful. And she ordered this specifically off the Japanese Amazon. I mean, that's just dedication, you know. Awesome, so awesome. And you should also look, like, even inside the cover, the actual hardcover is also so beautiful. I'm just so in love. I can't stop, like, staring at this book. It's really beautiful. And that crossed us over neatly into graphic novels because now I just have 3 more graphic novels to show you. And the first one is very popular already. It's Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples. This is volume 1. It's really, I'm not going to show you any pages because a lot of those are very explicit, and I don't want to, like, scare anyone or, like, traumatize anyone who's not of age, I guess. But, like, yeah, this is an innocent page. I really, really like the way this is drawn, and it's a fantasy story basically with sci-fi elements, and it's just about this couple basically. They're like the typical Romeo and Juliet story, I guess. They are from opposing sides of a war, and they have to flee together because both sides are hunting them. all over the galaxy, and then this is their daughter, and it's told from her perspective. I really enjoyed this, and it's a really quick read, and it's also very bendable, as you can see. But I really enjoyed this, and I totally recommend it. The next graphic novel is also very short, and it's Through the Woods by Emily Carroll. I just randomly saw this at the bookstore, and I was like, this looks really interesting, and then I read some Goodreads reviews, and they were 100% saying how creepy this book is, and they were right. It just says it came from the woods. Most strange things do. And it's basically 5 short stories about creepy things. So there's very big pictures and not a lot of text, but it's still definitely not a children's book because of how creepy it is. Like, it actually even creeped me out, and I'm not creeped out easily, so yeah. I blazed through this as well. I was gonna pace myself, but then I couldn't wait, and I really enjoyed this. I hope I can enjoy this at some point in the future again. Maybe I hope I'll forget like the twist at the end, I guess, of each story. But yeah, I totally recommend this for creepy stories. I know Halloween is already over, but there's always a time to be scared. And the last book I bought is The Complete Mouse by Art Spiegelman. This is obviously also very popular already in the booktube sphere, and I was like, I need to join in on the fun, and it's not exactly fun because this book is set in World War II, and it's like an autobiography slash biography. Basically, it's Art Spiegelman telling us the story of his father, but there's also bits and pieces of his own story thrown in there. The kind of special thing about this is that the Germans are depicted as cats and the Jews depicted as mice, and that's kind of an analogy to their relationship in World War II, I guess. And a lot of people have criticized that they didn't like the way that the theme was used, in the sense that there was no further point to it except to show who was German and who was a Jew. I don't know if that's really something that we should linger on, like, does it really matter? But I think the story is really well told. The thing is, if you grow up in a German-speaking country, you will have it up to here with World War II stories, because literally that's the thing we focused most on in history class, and you hear it all the time. And I kind of understand, obviously I understand why, and I think it's really good that we can now deal with the situation, like with our history, in this way. But on the other hand, I was like, is this gonna be just another one of those stories that I've already read 100 times over? And the answer is it isn't, because what makes this book so special is that it tells a really tragic story, but it doesn't rely on any kind of personal, emotional themes, basically, to make you feel sorry for these people or to make you sad, because you just are sad. I don't know if I can explain this very well, but basically I just felt like this book, despite the fact that it was a very personal story, and it was obviously the story of his own father, he lived through it, and it was going very into detail with everything, I felt like it still was able to stay sort of objective and kind of out of it, because it was told by Art himself and not his father. I think this just makes it all the more tragic to know that a story doesn't need to be kind of played up on the emotional scale to make you actually feel emotions, because it just do. They just come hand in hand with what's being told, and I really enjoyed this book. It was amazing, and I can totally recommend this. That's it for my book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them, and I will see you soon. Have a lovely week. Bye!